I mean, one of the shows that, like, I love in a similar way to the way you love Homeland, but, like, in the sense that, like, I love it just as much, but in a different way because it's a very different show.
But when
Happy
people hear
endings.
this, yeah.
I don't, because I feel like it's one of those shows that, what?
Just the transition of Homeland to Happy Ending. Not that it's a wrong transition, but
No.
it's funny that you're saying love the same way. I'm like, oh Jesus.
But in
people
the
are gonna be
same
so
way that, like,
confused.
you sit
Yeah, I
down
know.
and you, like, don't want to do anything else. Like, okay,
Yeah.
it's a comedy. You don't have to sit down and
Right.
stop multitasking. But a lot of times I want to because a lot of times I don't have time to, but a lot of times I want to because half of it is the interactions and, like, the little things, the little nuances that they're doing with each other on screen that, like, if you're just listening to it or, like, half watching, you miss, you know? And I will say that this season, one of my favorite moments from the show was obviously the flashback to when they all met, because that's a thing that I just wish more shows would do. I love the crazy flashbacks. Obviously not in the beginning. I want to get to know the characters first and know why I would care. But at the same
Right.
time, you know, we've gotten to know these characters for 3 seasons. We've heard a lot about their past and their shared history, especially
Yeah.
because some of them did grow up together as kids. This was the first time when we saw everybody else get brought into the gang, and it was done in a spoof of the real world, which is also just... Well, I mean, the real world is not my happy place, but
It used to
spoofing
be.
reality shows is my happy place. And, you know, Max's character wanted to be the first outwardly gay character on TV. Well, there were others before him. He was just choosing to ignore them because he felt like he was so special. And so to see him in the flashback tapes with his girlfriend Penny, I mean, it was just pretty classic. She had the Rachel haircut, and she looked like something out of the Real Housewives of New Jersey with, like, the Juicy Couture sweatshirt. And Jane was, like, full-on college Jane, where she drank too much and she had pink hair and she looked like Gwen Stefani, which is the exact opposite of who she is now. And it was just, you know, you already knew where they were at now and the kind of relationship they had now, and the little things you learn about them, about how maybe they didn't all want to be together, kind of not unlike Friends. Like, let's
Yeah.
be honest, you really can draw a lot of parallels to Friends with happy endings, but
And I
in a
love
way
that.
that makes me feel nostalgic and not in a way that makes me feel like you're copying someone,
Right.
you know? And I think that's part of why I really liked it too, was because one of my favorite things in the world is the episode of Friends where Janet, well, it wasn't where they all met, but
Where
Janice
Janet
asked
asked,
them who
"Who
almost
on
slept with
you?"
who. Yeah, and you flash back and you see all these. So, you know, I mean, it has a special place in my
Lemonade.
heart. And I will say that if I had to pick a second, or like a runner-up for happy endings, it would be what just aired, PMP's Romance Factory, where Damon Wayans Jr. gets upstaged by a baby pig named Carnitas. That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't seen the episode, it's amazing.